Hi, this is Judith Gonzalez, and this is the second video for the Exploring Chemical and Physical Changes Lab. We'll be showcasing activities 1 through 8 in this video. Here I have what I have filled out in my table so far. So for the first activity, if you can see here, it has the activity number here, the initial color of our reactants, the initial temperature of the reactants, and then you come back over here and it has the final color of your product solution and the final temperature. Here wrote the observations, the type of change that we think it is, and explanation to why we think it's either a physical or a chemical change. So for the first activity, I mixed hydrochloric acid with sodium carbonate, and as you can tell, I have the initial color here for both, what the final color was for the solution, the product solution, and if there was a difference in the temperatures. For that, I actually said that this was a chemical change, and I'll go more into depth in the next video to why. For the second activity, mixed water and sodium polyacrylate, and same thing. We have the colors for both reactants here, the final color of the product solution, and if there is any difference in the temperature. And for this one, I also said that this was a chemical change. For the third activity, I mixed copper 2 sulfate and sodium carbonate. And so here are my initial colors, the final color for the product solution, my initial temperature, and my final temperature. And for this one, I put that it was only a physical change. For activity 4A, all we did was light the wick of a tea candle and observed it for a minute. So since it is a burning candle, I put it is a chemical change. For activity 4B, we used that same tea candle and put a ice cube in an aluminum little dish and just had it heated up for a whole minute and watched it melt some. So I put that was a physical change. For activity number 5, we had water and sugar. Here are the colors for the reactants. Here was my product color, temperature, beginning temperature, end temperature, and all that happened for this was that it dissolved the sugar in the water, so I put it was a physical change. For 6A, I mixed sodium hydroxide with phenolphthalein, and here are my initial colors for both solutions, my end product solution. This was immediately after, actually, to clarify, because after I observed it for a minute, it went back to clear. But here is my initial temperature, final temperature, right after I mixed them, and I put that this was a chemical change. For 6B, I had hydrochloric acid and the product solution from 6A were used to make the mixture for this one. And here are my initial colors, final temperature, final temperature, and I also put that this was a chemical change. And for activity number 7 and 8, 7, I mixed copper 2 sulfate and sodium hydroxide. Here are the initial colors for both. They were actually clear blue and clear, and then final color was an opaque dark blue. The initial temperature of the 2 reactants and the final for the product, and I put that was a chemical change. And for number 8, activity number 8, all we did was mix blue water and yellow water, which in turn we ended up with green water. Temperature ended up staying the same, and I put that this was only a physical change.